All right, you guys. So let's just break it down for the Patreon, okay? I ended that video on YouTube and I said, why would someone turn their teachings to secrets? Because society, anything that society does not agree with, they persecute it. What do I mean by that? Anything that society doesn't agree with, they persecute it. And I just jump right in. So, hey, y'all, what's up? What's up, family? I hope y'all did watch the first one. If you didn't, I'll have a link down in the description box below. Thank you for joining my Patreon. I love you. I'm glad you're here. Let's get into it. The system, or whatever the case may be, they don't want us to know about esoteric knowledge. They don't want us to know about occult knowledge, magic, alchemy, all these things. Why? Because they use it against us. Oh, I just bit my son. Because they use it against us. So if we in war, right? If we in war and we about to fight, say we just about to fight. Fuck war. We just about to fight. Me and you about to fight. I'm not about to tell you, oh, I'm about to hit you with a two-piece and I'm about to come back and I'm about to drop you. I'm not about to tell you that, because if I tell you that, then you know exactly what to do to get out of the way, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it like that. Now, if we're in a spiritual warfare constantly, because this whole simulation, this whole existence is a war. Okay? This shit is spiritual warfare. This shit is spiritual. People that don't realize that this whole world is spiritual, get out your ego. Stop worrying about what you can attain and all this other shit. No, wake the fuck up. It's time to wake up. It's time to evolve. Okay? It's bigger than the shit that you can attain. It's bigger than the things that you can have. It's bigger than the things that you can get in a monetary form. Okay? And if we realize that the all is mine from a young age, especially now, what the fuck do people do as soon as the baby get older? Stick a phone in their hand. So from such a very young age, because when we come into this world, we know who we are. We know what we came here to do. We know, like my son, he's reading auras, he's doing all this stuff, and he's 6. But when it comes to, especially like parents are like, the way I was born, pushed into religion and this and that child loses what they came here for. They lose what they came here for. And they start to go on whatever the program is or whatever is programmed into their mind. That is where the manipulation begins. So think back to however old you're now to when you're a child. You've been being manipulated since you was a child, so now it's time to wake up. Now it's time to realize if the universe is mental and all is mind, that means that I have, like me, when I realized that, I have been unpacking all of my thought systems, belief systems, all the way down. Also, too, it's something that helps is plant medicine. If y'all need some of that, hit me up, let me know. But when I took shrooms, it really helped me to open up my brain to bigger things. When they keep you in a paradigm blindness, which is basically just, like, say if you grow up in the hood, that's all you see, that's all you know. Most people, they don't leave their neighborhood sometimes. Everybody don't travel, things like that. I'm thankful Mama, she took us to different places and whatnot, so we were able to see different environments. But if you just stay in that same place every day, all day, you don't got the money to go nowhere else, you struggling, that's all you're going to think you can ever do. That's a paradigm blindness. If they could keep us in a paradigm blindness, then they could control our mind way, way easier, right? So that's the fact of that's why they're not teaching the occult. That's why they're not teaching magic. That's why they're not teaching alchemy. Yeah, it's secret places that you can really go to if you plugged in, but as in you think you have to go somewhere or Google search some shit like that? Maybe you go to YouTube, but who's to say who's doing what? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's secret for a reason. It's hidden for a reason. Hidden knowledge. That's what occult means. Or esoteric, one of them. So the universe is mental, all is mind. If thoughts create feelings, feelings create realities. Me and Mom was talking about this the other day. She was doing a study for her class. And she asked me, she said, okay, well, what's the difference between, like, with the emotions? I forget what the actual thing was, but it was showing how naturally we have emotions, and then as we get older, and as we grow, and as we see how people around us react to things, like, even if a little kid falls, most little kids don't even cry, so you start looking, and you're like, oh my God, what is that? That's a program. You taught that child to be, and next thing you know, now they're crying. You taught that. You feel me? Like, that's all, like, the simplest, like, a simple form of a program. Like, I swear to God, y'all, my son, he was the quietest baby, and then he started hanging around his niece when he was like, I mean, not his niece, his cousin when he was like 3. And next thing you know, this nigga started crying. I'm like, this boy ain't never cried a day in his life. And now he a crybaby? What the fuck going on? Because even just seeing is speaking to that subconscious mind. That's like what I told y'all. So if we know the soul needs to absorb light to evolve, that's why I was telling y'all about scanning. Because some people will be like, well, if I'm not actively paying attention to something, it's not affecting me. Or if I just had a TV on in the background, but I'm not listening to it, it's not affecting me. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. When I sleep, I play podcasts. I play all different type of stuff that I want to learn that I may not be able to receive while I'm up. If you're playing all type of fuck shit and you sleep listening to that shit, your subconscious mind is receiving it, okay? And you're going to output it into your life somehow. That's why another reason, too, like, I don't let my son play certain games or watch certain shows because, no. You're not about to be falling asleep listening to this fuck shit and then coming back and you want to, like, even certain channels with kids be talking to their parents crazy. No, we're not doing that. You're not taking that into your spirit because that's bullshit. We're not, like I said yesterday on Instagram Live, we're not buying into that program. I say that all the time. I'm not accepting that. I do not accept this into my reality. I do not resonate. I don't buy into that in any form, fashion, or any way. Return to where the fuck you came from. Where is this coming from? When you start to have certain thoughts or reactions to things that seem, even in the beginning, you may not even realize when things seem weird or when things seem like you shouldn't be reacting because you've been doing it for so long. So it's definitely a process of observing yourself from a higher self perspective. Excuse me, y'all. Now, even when it comes to dreams, thoughts, and visions, all of these, like, even to go on a deeper level, like, the government has entities and spirits. I'm not even just going to say the government, but as a whole, because it's deeper than the government. You feel me? It's like, it's deeper than that. And we're going to unpack this shit on this Patreon, okay? But it's deeper than that. It's deeper than just the government. And they're just playing their position, but it is people in roles that you don't see that want to keep us asleep, that want to keep us on a low vibration so that we don't lift our vibration. And they will come attack you in your dreams, not just your active thoughts. That's what we just spoke about when you're asleep. Some of y'all may get drunk and go to sleep drunk. Some of y'all may get high every night and go to sleep high as fuck. You don't remember what's happening in your dreams. You could have been abducted and everything. Hello? That shit is real. Do you know when you're going to sleep, you go into different realms? You go into different places. Wake up. Okay, this is my line, y'all. Visions. Say you just start having visions of shit that's not, it don't really resonate with you and you just keep seeing shit. Like, sometimes, too, it could be like your spirit team's trying to reveal something to you, but sometimes it is a projection of forces around trying to get us to believe this or do this way or live in a scared mindset or live in a scarcity mindset or something that's limiting. Excuse me. Like, let's use Chicago, for example. Chicago has a spirit over that city, and a lot of different entities are there in that environment. Also, too, different areas give off different light codes. So say if you're here where I'm at or you go to Chicago, you may get different visions, or you may feel different emotions, or especially if you're spiritually in tune, you're gonna feel different ways about certain things that you're like, oh, that just feels weird, or oh, I don't like how that. Why am I thinking like this? Or naturally, you may be put into like a like even like in New York. I'm from New York, and every time I go back, it's like I always have like these weird ass negative thought forms. And I'm like, that is not me. Like, where is that coming from? But most people are not even paying attention to their thoughts enough to separate themselves out of it and see, like, is that me or what is that? Most people are not doing that. They're just accepting it. But think about that. That's active and active life. So you walking around, you thinking this, you randomly have this thought, you randomly have this thought. Think about what's happening when you sleep. Think about what's really happening when you sleep. You randomly having visions. Think about what's happening when you randomly having visions, or you randomly having weird ass dreams. Now, sometimes it could be spiritual. I mean, it's all spiritual, but sometimes it could be something that's going on with you. But a lot of the times, it's a lot of projections from the outside forces around us trying to get us to buy into a narrative or a program. Especially when you start your spiritual journey and you start to change yourself, you start to work on yourself, and you start to push yourself into a higher calling and things like that, you will find that a lot of shit is going to try to come and rise up. A lot of shit is going to come and try to bring you back down to a low vibrating state. Now, think about this. When a person does dominating work on people, it triggers thoughts. Right? Say if you do a love spell on someone, it triggers their thoughts. It triggers them to have thoughts of you. It triggers them to think of you. So that's a form of domination. If they can project radio waves, first of all, and we know we are what? Electromagnetic beings. If you didn't know that we are I can't even say it out. We are electromagnetic beings. Now, if they're projecting radio waves on us, even if we don't hear it, see it, feel it, touch it, it's happening. That's why it's very important to meditate. That's why it's very important to say your affirmations. That's why it's very important to write what you want down, get clear on it, know what you want so you can stay focused on that path, because it's a constant thing. It's not something that's going to ever stop. You understand what I'm saying? Then it's like, especially with TV and things like that, and like shows and whatnot, like the unconscious suggestion. Now, I'm not against gays in any type of way, shape, or form. But think about how when like people wasn't really accepting the gay thing, or whatever, people was homophobic or whatever the case may be. But now it's like every kid show you watch, it's like a gay couple or a gay something. Like, it's in everything you watch now. But I remember when I was a child, like that was just unheard of. You feel me? Like that was just like, what? A gay person in the show? So they control us like that. They control us like that. Before, they didn't want us doing that. They try to keep us locked in or whatever. You can't be gay. You can't do this. It's frowned upon. Then now it's like, okay, well, you can be gay, do whatever you want to do, but we're going to force that narrative on you now. Now, whether you like it or not, you're going to see us, right? That's just a simple form of that, too. Also, too, watching certain shows, like I watched a show about this alien abduction thing, like, they want to make aliens seem so scary to keep people away from that shit because they know that it's real. They know that it's real and it's nothing like that. So, they want to make it seem like, oh, this is super scary, because that's going to shock you. So, even 444, even when you do see it, you're going to be scared of it, or you're not going to trust it, or you're going to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they reveal a lot of truth within movies and stuff like that. And unconscious suggestions, so like with that, where they keep putting certain things on, like not even just a gay thing, but they'll keep putting things on a certain show or movies. And it'll just be like a recurrent thing over and over again. That's unconscious suggestion. So say if I say, you want to go to the movies with me? You're like, no, I'm good. And I ask you again in like 20 minutes, you sure you want to go to the movies? You want to go to the movies with me? No, I'm good. Then I ask you again like 20 minutes later, like, oh yeah, I just cooked some food. You want to go to the movies? Like, and I just keep doing that every couple of 20, 30 minutes. Eventually you're going to either be like, bro, leave me the fuck alone. Like, eventually you're going to get a reaction or you're going to go, right? Depending on who you are and how strong you are. What is that? Unconscious suggestion. They do a lot of that. Now, too, even if you break it down to colors and things like that and sounds and frequencies that they'll put, it's constantly suggesting things to someone, and they will think it's their own thoughts at some point. At some point, we became to think that, oh no, this is just my thoughts. At some point, you just believe like, oh, this is just who I am. This is just how I. And that's why too, I feel like they wanted to make that era of like, oh, I'm real, oh, I'm this, oh, I'm that. Like they wanted to really embed that era into us, and it was just like, okay, well, if I'm real, I have to be growing at the same time though too. I can change. They wanted to embed that, oh, I'm real, I say the same, this, and that. And it's like, okay, well, if we stay the same, that means we're not growing. What's that about? You feel me? Like, you gotta question everything, bro. You have to question everything. Like, seriously, you have to question every fucking thing that you believe. Because, too, it's like, that way, too, you can even have more faith and trust in what you believe in. I question everything I believe. Because not only is my family Christian, and they gonna, like, I want to be able to speak up for what I believe in. I don't want to be like, oh, yeah, I believe in this, and I don't know why I'm just believing it. Like, no. I know what I believe in. I trust in it. I study it. I affirm it to myself every day. You have to, like, this is like part of taking control of your journey, taking control of your life, this experience, of this existence. It's deeper than what you could accomplish, how much money you can make, how much, like, that's going to come. That should have come. That ain't the real accomplishment. The accomplishment is overcoming the fuck shit. When we think in a specific matter, all our thoughts and feelings, inner states, how we talk about like inner standing. When we think in a specific matter, all our thoughts and feelings and inner states have a vibrational quality to them. So if they can keep us vibrating at a certain vibration, that's what they're gonna do. And how do they do that? We just said thoughts create feelings, feelings create realities. If all our thoughts and feelings are at this certain vibration and most times it's an environmental thing, it's a paradigm blindness, so everybody around you believe in the same bullshit too. And that's how you're able to keep it, the blindness. Because you don't see the difference between nobody else. Everybody doing the same shit. You don't see no different. Everybody doing it. That's that paradigm blindness, but I'm challenging you guys to step out of what everybody else is doing. I'm challenging y'all to be yourself. In a world full of copycats, who are you? Okay, I'm going to leave that video at that, and we're going to do another video about this mind manipulation and talk about it a little bit deeper. But I love you. Love yourself. Peace.